Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So, before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that you can get notified of any new videos that come on board. If you have any topics, put them in the comment section, so that way I'll be able to give you my take on the topic, or I can make a video so that way you can see it, so that way you can always go back to it. Hit the like button. So this video is on grief and loss. And I'll explain why. And if you want to connect with me on Facebook at Carlos Flores Jr. Connect with me on Instagram at Back on Basics. Connect with me on X at Back on Basics as well. So let's talk about grief and loss. So it's something that we all deal with, and it doesn't necessarily mean that somebody has passed away. It just means that we're dealing with some grief, or we're dealing with some loss, right? Or we're dealing with both, grief and loss. And so, sometimes it means separating with somebody, losing a job. It means changing a long-time job that you've had, moving away from a support system that you have. I mean, it's interesting because for the longest time, I thought that I wasn't grieving. And the thing is that it wasn't just my dad passing about 2 months back. It was also about a lot of different things. It was about my changes. Ever since COVID, these past few years, there's been so many changes in my life that I haven't really adapted to some of the things that are going on, some of the things that should be going on. And so, like when I got laid off from my job, that's one of the things that I have not dealt with. It's I wish I could have, but I didn't, and that's hard. It was a lot. It was my identity for over 6 years, and so because of that identity, I lost it for a little bit. I mean, we were this was during COVID. We were working from home. I mean, I was still working, but at some point I was giving a pink slip and said, within these many months, we're gonna close down the local campuses. That my position across the board was gonna, all of the people received slips that we were going to be laid off. And so it was hard because, I went from making over $100,000 to, applying for unemployment. And it was difficult. My identity was gone. I mean, I used to be part of chambers of commerce. I used to be part of different groups. I used to be part of accreditation groups that help not only the university, but also other aspects of education to be prepared for accreditation. And so for the longest time, I have not really grieved about the loss of my job. And so, not until recently that, again, my dad passed away, that I started grieving, because I want to grieve. I wanted to grieve for my dad. I wanted to, because I felt bad. I felt sad. It was one of those things that it just took a lot out of me. It did. It took a lot out of me. And I'm being very honest with you. And that's the reason why grief and loss is a very important topic for all of us, because it doesn't just mean somebody passing away. It means losing a job. losing a significant other, and not just to death, but also because of a separation or a breakup or a misunderstanding. Grieving a best friend that you haven't seen in years, right? It's like I have so many people in my village that I haven't really connected with, and I feel bad. I've been feeling bad lately, and I think that's the reason why sometimes I feel like I'm not moving ahead. And that's one of the things that I have to deal with, because I feel like I'm not moving ahead. It seems like I'm constantly working and working and working, and I'm still in this situation. And so I think for me, things piled on. Remember how I talked about the compounding in effect? Well, it happened to me, and that's the reason why I tell you every single time I do these videos is that whatever I'm telling you, and I'm recommending to you to do to get ahead, I'm also doing. I mean, I'm in this journey with you guys. I mean, you are my support system, and I'm also part of your support system. Believe it or not, I'm part of your village, and so I'm that guy that gives you advice for everything, and then, but the nice thing is that I'm following my advice, and that's the reason why Back on Basics is so important. It's because I follow what I do. I follow what I say, and I try it myself. I mean, it's my birthday today, May 15th. I mean, it may be a little bit past May 15th in other areas. I turned 49. I've had a pretty rough day today. I'm not gonna lie. I had a pretty rough day today. At work, I had a pretty rough day. Not rough, but it's like when it piles on, like I told you, sometimes it just gets overwhelming, and that's the reason why I tell you, every Wednesday for the last 3 weeks I've been in a grief class. It's not really a group. It's more of a class where we go over topics about grief and loss, which is really nice. For me, the grief and loss topics, the things that they talk about are the things that I talk about. I mean, those are the things that I've studied when I went to Sac State to get my master's in marriage family therapy. What I appreciate is hearing other people and hearing their stories and hearing and saying, this is how I feel. I haven't gotten out of bed in 2 weeks. I haven't gone to work in 2 weeks. I haven't done this. I'm grieving not only one person, but another person that recently passed. Some people are grieving loss of their job. Some people are grieving a loss of income. Some people are grieving a lot of different things. So grief and loss is something that we deal with almost on a daily basis, because there's a lot of different things that we tend to grieve about. It's loss. I mean, it means that it may not be happening anymore. It may not be happening the way that it should. It may not be happening because we choose not to. And that's the thing. We need to have control. Now, I'm not saying that everything needs control, that everything needs to be under control, because it doesn't. Sometimes you have to just let it rain. And sometimes you have to not open an umbrella to protect yourself. Just let it rain on you, so that way you can feel, right? And it's like I'm visualizing it, right? I love the rain. The rain means, to me, it means a fresh start. It means that even though it's hurting inside, you're cleansing, right? You're cleansing. And that's the thing that's very important, because the way that things happen is that you're cleansing. You're starting again. And it doesn't mean that you're going backwards, right? It just means that you're starting from a certain place. And so today, my birthday, it's my place to start. So I'm pledging to you, and I'm telling you, uh, this is my place to start. There's a lot of things that I haven't done that I have written down that I need to do. There's goals that I want to attain that I still haven't gotten to them because I've been surviving. I mean, I've been surviving for months. I've been surviving for years. Honestly, and I'm going to be very honest with you, uh, when I was unemployed, one of the things that I struggled with was able to prove to the Medicare and or Medi-Cal system that I was unemployed, that I needed insurance for my family. It was just very, very disheartening that, paperwork after paperwork after paperwork after paperwork, they're like, no, this is not, you're not being approved, you're not being approved. And it was hard. I mean, before I was laid off, and I'm sorry, I'm getting allergies. Before I was laid off, I was given a severance package, but that severance package went away really quickly. I mean, you have to realize, right, that sometimes you have to make sure that you keep things going. You have to keep things running. You have to keep family fed. You have to keep supporting family. You have to make sure, right? For me, as a provider, that's one of my hats that I wear. As a provider, I want to make sure that my family's taken care of. And so it was hard. It was very difficult. I second guessed myself a lot. Why am I telling you these stories? Because I know that some of you are doing the same thing right now. But what I'm telling you is this. Don't be afraid to grieve. Don't be afraid to lose. Don't be afraid to restart again. It doesn't mean that you're going backwards. It just means that you're starting right now in the present. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's hard to ask for help when you're in trouble and you need something. Don't be afraid to ask for help. It's hard. Being the oldest and out of two in our family, it's hard sometimes because you're paving the way. And so, in front of people, you look like you're strong, and you look like you can do anything. You look like you're moving ahead. Believe me, raise your hand, right? If you are, you may be the oldest, you may be the middle, you may be the youngest, but you put on this suit that shows people that you're doing okay, while inside, under the suit, you're not. You have to take off your suit and you have to say, I'm not okay. This is not okay. All of this that's happening is not okay. And so you have to be honest with yourself first, and then you have to be honest with your support system, with your village, because otherwise you're not going to grieve. That's what I did. From COVID until now, to be honest with you, I've been grieving, and I haven't admitted that I've been grieving because I've had so many losses. My job, my cousin Chungo passed away of COVID. Nobody saw him when he was passing away. When he was buried in El Salvador, nobody saw him because at that time it was COVID. He died of COVID. They took him straight to the cemetery. Nobody saw him. I mean, he's the one who gave me a lot of advice. He's the one who was one of my sages. he's the one who knew, because he went through what I've been going through. And then he's gone. And then after that, again, I didn't have a job for a while. I mean, I've told you before in other videos that I've actually applied to over 200 jobs before I switch my jobs and I switched to education. I love this. I'm telling you, I love it. I love special education. Sometimes you have to understand that you may love something very much, but the people around you may not be the best. You have to understand that you have to be honest with yourself, because a lot of the time, sometimes you may be grieving because of that. It may be a loss because you feel like you're not being supported, but you are. I'm being supported a lot. I mean, where I work, I'm being supported by certain people. Certain people I'm not, but that's okay. You know what? It's okay. The people that support me are always there. Are always asking me if I'm okay. I'm always asking me, hey, can you help me with this, or can I do this for you? So, I mean, grief and loss is a very important topic to talk about, because everybody's going through it at some level because of something or other. I mean, there's a lot that we go through. I mean, as human beings, there's a lot. You got to give yourself credit. You got to pat yourself on the back and say, holy crap. You know, I'm still here. I still wake up. I still have another do-over the next day, right? I'm still here. I usually do my videos early in the evenings. I mean, it's almost 11 o'clock Pacific time here, and I'm doing this video. I wasn't going to do a video. I didn't even do a video last night. I was in such a rut. I was in such a loss. I thought I was losing things. And I was giving up. But then I said, why am I giving up on myself? Right? Why am I giving up on you guys as a support system? Why am I giving up on my village? So, I'm going to pledge to you all. I'm going to connect with my support system again, starting tomorrow. I'm going to connect with my village. I'm going to see if I can connect with my friends from the past. I want to be able to live the life that I want to live. And you have to define it for yourself. That's not something that I'm going to tell you. You really have to define what life you want to live. I'm a giver. I'm a provider. I want to be a supportive, good parent. I want to be somebody that supports their support system. And so for me, that means a lot. But at the same time, I'm very respectful, sometimes to a fault. And so I'm telling you, I'm doing the same things that I'm telling you. I'm doing the same things that I've learned to do. So join me, right? Join me. And let's work together so that we can get to a balanced state. So we can have mind-body balance, right? We're always going to be in situations where we lose something. Or we lose something or someone. It's always going to be that way. But the thing is, how we handle it and how we weather the storm, right? You have to choose whether you want to open up an umbrella when it rains or you want to just leave it closed and just embrace it. Either way is fine, right? Either way is fine. And guess what? As soon as that's done, you're still there, right? You're moving on. You're moving forward. You're still moving forward. You're creating that compounding effect of good things, so that way you can get to your goals and your dreams. So that way you can balance your mind and your balance and your body. right? Again, I'm riding a pretty, I don't have as many highs and lows as I used to because I'm trying to live in the present. Believe me, it's really good. Middle of the road, really good. Neutral zone, really good. Present, in the present, really good. You make the best decisions. And I'm telling you, I'm still grieving. Don't get me wrong. I still have a good cry over my dad. I still have a good cry over my cousin Chungo and everybody else. I mean, I still feel bad that I'm not providing as much to my family, but I am providing. And sometimes it's just support, and sometimes it's just being there and being the person that they know they can rely on. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button for any new videos that come on board. Hit the like button. Grief and loss. It's something that we have to deal with because grief and loss is a given. It's like death and taxes. It's a given. Grief and loss is a given. But we can deal with it. We can accept it. We can embrace it. We can either open an umbrella when it's raining or close it up and not open it up and just embrace the rain. So you do what you want to do. Again, if you have any topics, put them in there. Put it in the comment section. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave my umbrella closed and I'm going to enjoy the rain. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to get soaked because it's just going to make me feel alive and it's going to make me get moving forward to my goals and dreams. Till next time, Back on Basics.